Life is not a matter of holding good cards, but of playing a poor hand well. I kept always 2 books in my pocket, one to read, one to write in. I travel not to go anywhere, but to go. I travel for travel's sake. The great affair is to move. There is no duty we so much underrate as the duty of being happy. By being happy we sow anonymous benefits upon the world. We are all travelers in the wilderness of this world, and the best we can find in our travels is an honest friend. Keep your fears to yourself, but share your courage with others. You think those dogs will not be in heaven. I tell you they will be there long before any of us. So long as we love we serve, so long as we are loved by others, I would almost say that we are indispensable, and no man is useless while he has a friend. The cruelest lies are often told in silence. There are no foreign lands. It is the traveler only who is foreign. A friend is a gift you give yourself. Quiet minds cannot be perplexed or frightened but go on in fortune or misfortune at their own private pace, like a clock during a thunderstorm. If he be Mr. Hyde, he had thought, I shall be Mr. Seek. To be what we are, and to become what we are capable of becoming, is the only end of life. The saints are the sinners who keep on trying. You can give without loving, but you can never love without giving. It is one thing to mortify curiosity, another to conquer it. To know what you prefer instead of humbly saying amen to what the world tells you you ought to prefer, is to have kept your soul alive. If I am the chief of sinners, I am the chief of sufferers also. Wine is bottled poetry. Sir, with no intention to take offense, I deny your right to put words into my mouth. The difficulty of literature is not to write, but to write what you mean, not to affect your reader, but to affect him precisely as you wish. There are 2 things that men should never weary of, goodness and humility. We get none too much of them in this rough world among cold, proud people. You cannot run away from a weakness, you must sometimes fight it out or perish. And if that be so, why not now and where you stand? You must suffer me to go my own dark way. Everyone, at some time or another, sits down to a banquet of consequences. 15 men on the dead man's chest, yo-ho-ho, and a bottle of rum. Drink and the devil had done for the rest, yo-ho-ho, and a bottle of rum. I sat in the sun on a bench, the animal within me licking the chops of memory, the spiritual side a little drowsed, promising subsequent penitence, but not yet moved to begin. Our business in life is not to succeed, but to continue to fail in good spirits. I regard you with an indifference closely bordering on aversion. There comes an end to all things, the most capacious measure is filled at last, and this brief condescension to evil finally destroyed the balance of my soul. Make the most of the best and the least of the worst. The world is so full of a number of things, I'm sure we should all be as happy as kings. All human beings, as we meet them, are commingled out of good and evil, and Edward Hyde, alone, in the ranks of mankind, was pure evil. Perpetual devotion to what a man calls his business, is only to be sustained by perpetual neglect of many other things. Many's the long night I've dreamed of cheese toasted mostly. Everyday courage has few witnesses. But yours is no less noble because no drum beats for you and no crowd shout your name. It is perhaps a more fortunate destiny to have a taste for collecting shells than to be born a millionaire. She had an evil face, smoothed by hypocrisy, but her manners were excellent. Books are good enough in their own way, but they are a mighty bloodless substitute for life. You start a question, and it's like starting a stone. You sit quietly on the top of a hill, and away the stone goes, starting others. Jekyll had more than a father's interest, Hyde had more than a son's indifference. There is no duty we so much underrate as the duty of being happy. Compromise is the best and cheapest lawyer.